All right, in this video, we are going to keep practicing creating methods. And again, method is just one tiny little piece of code that performs a specific task. So you can imagine that if we were doing a video game, we'd want one that would calculate like a random amount of damage. So it would just return a random amount of damage. So there's not necessarily one right answer to all of these, but I'd pause the video and see if you can think through any of these parts, kind of sketch out some ideas. Um, and then we'll go over the answers together. Okay, so the input parameters, I would say there's actually two options here. You could have none. If you always wanted to return like a damage range is always like 0 to 20 damage or something. But you could make maybe even a more useful method if you had like one parameter that represented the max damage, right? Or you could actually do two parameters, one with the max, one with the min. So this would return 0 to max instead of 0 to 20. So you could really set it up any way. Again, you could have two parameters, one for min, one for max. I'm probably going to do the one where we just have one and we do from 0 to the max damage. So what would be returned? It could either be a double or int, depending on how you want to do your damage. If you want it to be an int or a double, either one, it's just going to be a number, basically. Right, and then what would the heading look like? So it would go public, static, and then the return type here, I'm just going to do int to make it simple. And then I'm going to do something called get random damage. So when I name my methods, I usually try to name them as specific as possible. So with what the method does. So since we're getting random damage, that's what I'm going to name it. And then I am going to take in an input parameter. So I'm going to do int max damage. So I'm going to take in that number and allow them to specify what's the max damage they want returned by this method. Okay, and then how you would call it, the way I've set it up, you can call it by its name. And then you take in the max damage. So let's just say max damage is 25, semicolon. Okay, and then because there's a return type, I guess I'm just going to have it return int, I suppose, representing the damage. So I'm going to do int damage, and then I'm going to store it. And you can see why we might want to do this, right? If we were doing an actual program, we would calculate the damage like this, get random damage, and then we would actually subtract the damage from the player's health or the monster's health, depending on whatever. So that would be what it looks like it called for main. So now you've got that. Let's see if you can code it up. So here's my method notes. I kind of deleted a bunch of stuff out of here, but right now, whoops, I got run too many curly braces. But right now I have main and then this average one. So you're going to create another method right outside of all of them with the heading and then see if you can call it from main. Pause the video and give it a shot. Okay, so we got public, static. I think we said int, and we did get random damage was the name. We took in the max damage variable. Okay, so now we actually have to calculate the damage. So we're going to use math.random. Okay, remember that is 0 to 0.99999. Okay, and we want to return a value from 0 to max damage, which is an int. Okay, so basically, let's see, if we do this, so if we take it times, I'm going to store it first, step 1 or whatever. So let's take it times max damage. So let's just say max damage, for example, let's say max damage, for example, was 10. Then this would return 0 to 9.99999. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it into an int by truncating that. So I'm going to do int step 2 equals truncate step 1. And this at this point would be 0 to 9. Okay, so that's not quite what I want. It goes from 0 to 9, and I want to do 0 to max damage, which in this case again was 10. So I think what we have to do is, let's see, if I take this plus 1, I add 1 to max damage before I multiply, then that would be 0 to 10.99999, and then this would truncate it to 0 to 10. So again, I'm thinking of a specific number here to make it a little less abstract. So I think you do have to add 1, so it'll look like this, and then truncate it, so it'll be 0 to 10. Okay, and final step in this method is got to return that damage amount. Okay, and so now if I want to call it, I'm going to do, it returns an int, so I'm going to do an int, the damage is going to be equal to whatever is returned by the method. So I'm going to call the method, and I'm going to pass in my max amount of 50 or something. I think I said 25, so maybe I'll keep it consistent. And then I'm just going to sys out print the damage just to see if it's working. So we can kind of run it a few times here. So it is doing some random damage. Looks like it's working pretty good. There's a 0. So yeah, we got our method working. Fantastic. All right, so let's take a look at another one. I hope these helped, right? You can give me feedback if these don't help, but I think it's just good to try and think through, like, what are the inputs and outputs, right? I think that's a pretty good way to think of a method. Is you have to have some data coming in, do something with that data, and then return something potentially. Again, you don't have to have inputs, you don't have to have outputs, but generally that's the way I think of it, in terms of like an input-output machine. It's kind of what a function is. All right, pause the video and see if you can answer these questions. We want to write a method that turns the difference in length between two strings. Until here, maybe to make it even more concrete, I'll think about bubbles. Like if I had the string bubbles compared to the string toe, right? So this would want to return the difference between them, which would be 4, because bubbles is 4 longer than toe, right? So it's going to take it's going to take some strings and then return the difference between them. So pause the video, try this, then we'll go over it. Okay, so the input parameter would be 2 strings, because we're going to pass in 2 string variables. I would say an int, which represents the difference in length of the strings. Okay, so the method heading would go public, static, and then int, because we're returning an int, and then the name of it. So length difference. All right, and then we do string 1, and string 2. So I would have 2 input parameters separated by a comma, so string 1 and string 2. You can name them whatever you want, but that's what I call them. And then to call this method, all right, I would do length difference and then bubbles and toe or whatever. So whatever strings you're passing in, right, with a comma between them. So that would, we use the name of it with 2 strings, and then we would store it. So we make an int variable and then have it set it equal to whatever's returned by that length difference method. Okay, ready or not? See if you can code that. Pause the video. All right, so I'm going to type public static. We already talked about this, int, and then what do we call the method? Length difference. I'm going to pass in string str1, str2. Oops. Open and close the method. Open curly brace, close curly brace. And now I'm just going to get the difference. So basically I'm going to do int diff, and then I'm just going to take the difference, string 1 dot length minus string 2 dot length. Okay, so subtract their lengths, then I'm going to return the difference. Okay, So here now I'm going to call the method. So I'm going to do int diff, and I can use diff again because this diff variable actually only exists down in this method. So I can have another one called diff up here in main. That's where I am. Okay, and so I'm going to call the method length difference from main with two strings. So I'm going to do bubbles and toe. All right, and that should be 4. So let's see if we can sys out the diff variable. And we do get 4. So there is a problem with this method, and I wonder if you can spot it and think of a way to fix it. So pause the video. All right, so the problem here is if I put toe first, I put the longer string second, then it's going to return -4, right? When it really should be 4. So the way around that is to do the absolute value, because basically the absolute value -4 would be 4. So basically here I don't have to worry about the order. I can just do math.abs for absolute value, and I'm just going to pass in. It only takes in one parameter, but basically if I write it this way, this is actually a good study in methods here. If we look at this, so this is kind of a lot going on in this one line, but I'm actually calling a length method on this string, and then calling the length method on this string, subtracting them, and then whatever I get, it's going to take that result and put it into math.abs, right? So it's going to subtract them, get -4, and then when the ABS method takes in -4, it's going to return 4 into this variable called diff right here, right? And that fixes our problem with it being negative. All right, one final example for you. We're going to have a string, and then we're gonna do a box like this. So print out a little box surrounding whatever the word is. So pause the video, try these things, and we'll code it up together. All right, so here we're gonna just have as input, we're gonna have one string, which would be the word we want to put in the box, right? So whatever word we want to be boxed, we're gonna have one string as our input. What's gonna be returned is actually nothing. So you could try to return like a fancy string that has all of this, but this is multiple lines. So it's going to be easier just to have it be void and then just print out right in the method. So we're just going to print in the method and return nothing. So what our method heading would look like, sorry, I probably won't have space to put it all here. So I'll put answer to letter C down here. So it'd be public, static, void, because nothing's returned. And we're going to call it fancy, box print maybe, taking a string. Okay, and then how you would actually call it from main is I would just call box print, the name of the method, and then whatever string I want, like Larry, and then a semicolon. And nothing to store here because it's a void method, so it's not stored like the other methods, right? Like length difference, we stored it, we added, a variable equal to whatever the method is called. This one we're just going to call like this, box print with whatever we want here, and a semicolon. Right? So we don't need to return anything. So it's quite a bit different than the other ones, which is why I'm doing this last example. All right, let's take a look at the code then, right? You could pause the video and see if you can do it yourself quick. Okay, so it goes public static void, box prints is the name. We're taking the string. Okay, and then we just got to print out a surrounding box. Okay, so sorry, I'm calling the method from main, box print, call it from main, and then the code, right? We don't need to return anything here, but basically we're just going to do some dashes and then do a line plus the string plus another line and plus some other dashes. So this is kind of the simple way of doing it, and it works okay, other than, it's kind of too long for Larry, so it might work if the word was a little bit longer. So a fancier way would be to write a loop where it prints one of these dashes for each letter. So that'd be kind of a cool challenge for you, but I'll just do the basic here because I'm running low on time. All right, that's it for this method. Thanks for watching.